Hello everyone, I'm so excited to announce the secret Christmas in July project I have been working on recently. I would like to thank Maymay from Maymay Made It here on YouTube for inviting me to work on this project, and I would like to invite you guys to join in as well. This Christmas in July project benefits both our troops and kids that have been hospitalized at St. Jude. I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial how I'm making Christmas cards to send to the troops in hopes that you'll want to participate as well. If you would like more information on how you can participate, head over to my blog for more information. I chose to make a Christmas card that strayed away from the bright reds, greens, and cute snowmen you often see in holiday cards. Instead, I'm making a more rustic and distressed Christmas card using Christmas sheet music. I'm using an old book of sheet music I have for the accents on this card. I wanted to make it a more religious Christmas card, so I'm going to be selective with the sheet music I use. For this card, I'm going to be using the music for O Come All Ye Faithful. To begin, I have die cut the sheet music into 2 large circles and have cut out a strip of the music with the lyrics, O Come Let Us Adore Him. I'm going to cut the circles in half in order to create 3 Christmas trees. To fold my trees, I'm going to take each half circle and begin by folding the right corner into the center. Then, I'm going to take that same corner and fold it back so that it lines up with the crease I just created. Next, I'm going to take the left corner on the opposite side of the paper and fold it back so that that line will line up with the right edge I created with my first fold. Now you have a Christmas tree. I'm going to repeat this 2 more times so that I have 3 trees for my card. The circles do create 4 when you cut them in half, so you could use the extra one for another project or just throw it away. To color the trees, I'm going to be taking a mini ink pad by Hero Arts in the color Forever Green, and I'm going to rub it all over my Christmas trees. All I'm going to do is take the ink pad and kind of burnish it around the edges, and I'm going to make sure to kind of unfold the trees so that I really get enough color on the edges. The edges are going to end up being a little bit darker than the rest of the tree, but it gives it some dimension. When I'm ready to color my tree, all I'm going to do is fold it back, and I'm going to take my ink pad and just lightly swipe it across the Christmas tree. You can do this with a light hand, or you can press down harder in order to make it darker, but I like just to lightly swipe across the tree so it's not super dark and it just looks more distressed than anything. I'm going to color the strip of sheet music in the same way, but I'm going to swipe the ink pad in a diagonal motion. And make sure you ink up the edges of the paper. Even if you have to cut down the strip later, remember to go back and ink up all the edges so that the card looks finished. To create the stumps of my trees, I'm going to take a brown ink pad and I'm going to run it over a white sheet of cardstock like I did with the trees. I'm then going to cut them down to the width I want them. And then once I do that, I want the end to be rounded. So all I'm going to do is stick it in my corner chomper, and I'm just going to stick it straight in and then punch. And so it'll give it a nice rounded corner. You could just use scissors to do this, but the corner chomper was quick and easy. Now I'm going to glue down all the flaps of the trees, and I'm going to adhere the stump to the back of the tree with my Tombow Mono multi-glue. To create the background of my card, I'm going to take a piece of craft paper that matches the card base I'm going to be using. I'm going to use the same brown ink that I used earlier, and I'm going to swipe it over the paper. The inked cardstock needs to be smaller than the base so that I have a craft frame around the background to stamp on later. So I just need a little bit of space on the left, right, and top sides of the card base so that I can stamp a border. So once this is adhered, I need to make sure my strip of sheet music is cut down to run perfectly across the bottom of my card. So all I'm going to do is line it up where the lyrics run where I want them to, and then I'm just going to cut it down. Before I adhere it down, I'm going to take a border stamp and emboss it along the craft frame I created. I'm using a stamp from Recollections Classic Border Stamp Set, and I will emboss it in Ranger's Liquid Platinum Embossing Powder. Once the borders have been embossed, I can adhere down my strip and the Christmas trees how I want them. I'm using the same Tombow glue I used earlier for this. You could even use foam behind these to give them more dimension, but that's completely up to you. You can adhere your Christmas trees so that you have space between them, or you can put them closer together. If you do leave space between them, it gives you enough space to stamp small sentiments, which looks great. Because two of my trees are sticking off my card, I'm going to have to trim it down so that it'll fit perfectly into an A2 sized envelope. On the first card like this I made, I stamped a season's greetings and a peace, love, and joy stamp between the trees and embossed them in the liquid platinum to match the border. I'm going to experiment a little with this card I'm making now by stamping and embossing a Merry Christmas stamp along the top of the strip. I also want to mention that all the Christmas stamps you see here are by Kaisercraft. You could leave this card as is, or you could stamp a sentiment between the trees like I did in the first card. I kind of do like how the stamping between the trees turned out better, but I do like the Merry Christmas along the top of the strip. I did have some leftover green ribbon that matched the ink, so I did adhere it to the top of the card, but that's completely up to you. I do like the first card I made better because I like the two little sentiments, but the second card looks great too. This Christmas in July project has been so wonderful, and I encourage you to check out all of the other contributors to this project. In the YouTube description of this video and over on my blog, I will provide a list of all the other crafters who have worked so hard to make Christmas in July happen. Remember, if you'd like more information on how you can send your own cards to the troops and to the kids, be sure to visit my blog or one of the other contributors to this project. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.